this is not a theory, it's a fact. There are things in our ocean that we don't know about, right? They might not be grand in size like this. They might not even be weird, but there is no doubt that there are things in the water, in our oceans, which make up most of our planet and goes very deep that we don't know about. We know this. They claim that we know more about space than we do our own oceans. So let me preface that. That's definitely a fact. Now, when we come up with photos or videos that look weird like this, well, it's hard to know. I think that there's always a possibility that there's some freaky creatures in the water. There might be some big, prehistoric-like creatures in the water. We just don't know. I think to blindly believe in all of them would be a little bit naive. And I think to blindly write them all off as fake would be equally naive. So I will sit on the fence with this, but this looks pretty crazy just because this is from 1964. So it's not like this was taken a week ago with the plethora of millions of different apps and filters and Photoshop capabilities. I realize you can even edit an old photo, but I'm just saying these photos have been circulating for a while from what I've just found out. And this is pretty interesting if this was real. It's like a giant tadpole or like almost like a snake. I'm not really sure what to compare it to, but it's huge. And if that was real, that'd be scary. And if it was real, I feel like Australia would be the place where it would be. So yeah, on the one hand, the fun theory would be that's a crazy big monster. On the other hand, if there isn't practical explanation for something that would look that weird, it could be a school of fish. That's what people in the comments theorize might be what it was. So if we go here, we can do this one. There's pop-ups everywhere on this Daily Mail. Jeez. But you can see this was pictured. There's a more modern picture of a guy that was pretty scared and found out that this was a school of fish surrounding him. Now, that does look pretty weird and eerie, but once you find out that makes sense, that it could be, thousands of fish in a school, like when they travel like that, kind of makes sense that it would look like that. It still does look weird, but at least this has an explanation. Maybe when this school of fish starts traveling fast, it doesn't look like a blob anymore. It might look like a more streamlined shape like we saw in the Australia photo. Regardless, this Hook Island place is pretty interesting. I would pull up the wiki on it. It's one of the Whitsunday Islands off the coast of Australia, Queensland to be exact. It's almost uninhabited, quite rugged, and almost completely contained with a section of the Whitsunday Islands National Park. The island has two prominent geographical features, the Nara and Makona Inlets, two fjord-like recesses that are used as anchorages for the Whitsunday tourist fleet. The island's northern coast is noted for its colorful underwater coral groves to which snorkeling and diving enthusiasts are attracted. Then it mentions that in '64, which circulated globally, famous photos of a sea monster was visible. The best known of the Hook Island sea monster photos is familiar to many. The two or three others are less familiar. Features a gigantic tadpole-like monster supposedly encountered in Stonehaven Bay, Hook Island, by Robert Lesurek and his family during December of 1964. Now, in other news, something that did happen there that's pretty freaky is on the 12th of February 2008, a yacht ran aground at Cape Cove. The yacht became wedged on dangerous rocks, requiring the rescue of 37 people by helicopter. The incident was Australia's largest helicopter rescue operation from a vessel. At least 2 people have died from Urcandi jellyfish. Holy smokes. While snorkeling off of Hook Island. Some of the oldest archaeological sites ever found in Eastern Australia are the caves and midden of the Ngaro people on Hook Island. A site at Nara Inlet is the oldest indication of Aboriginal occupation in the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park. Wow, this place is just filled with interesting things. What is this, by the way? They're extremely venomous, rare jellyfish. And of course, they inhabit the northern marine waters of Australia. They cost the Australian government $3 billion annually through tourism losses and medical costs associated with stings? Holy smokes. Look at that thing. That's it. Is that what it really is? This little guy can make such an impact and costs the country $3 billion annually. Well, you certainly learn something new every day. Wow. If you happen to get stung by these little guys, even a small amount of venom includes excruciating muscle cramps in the arms and legs. Wow, that's scary. Severe pain in the back and kidneys, a burning sensation on the skin and face, headaches, nausea, restlessness, sweating, vomiting, and an increase in heart rate and blood pressure. Oh, is that all? These effects are caused by the release of, they are testing my brain ability today. Catecholamines. That's what I'm going to go with. The venom also contains a sodium channel modulator. Boy, these little guys are nuts. The sting is moderately irritating. The severe syndrome is delayed for 5 to 120 minutes, averaging around 30 minutes. These last from hours to weeks. They usually require hospitalization. Anyway, yeah, that is crazy. What a rabbit hole we went down with Hook Island, just that region. Very fascinating. It looks very beautiful, but you definitely got to be careful there. Whoa, lots of interesting stuff happening there. Okay, 2 French-speaking guys encounter a frill-necked lizard in Australian outback. From the coast all the way inland to the outback, Australia will rock your world. Take a look at this. Holy crap. Whoa, dude, that's scary as hell. Get off.
Voilà. Bah en fait, faut juste qu'il vous monte dessus.
Salut. Vive l'Australie.
Quand on me dit oui, il va à la collerette, c'est compliqué à attraper, vous les embêtez. Non, non.
Hop là.
Jeez, dude. Oh, no, don't go for the face. No way.
Tu vas perdre un œil.
Je me fais dominer là, laisse tomber.
Bonjour.
Is that thing gonna spray venom or something?
Bonjour. Oh, belle.
I love how he's like, bonjour. These guys are either brave or crazy. I can't tell which. Okay, how scary is that thing? Look it was so chill on the ground. Look, you could barely see it. But then you walk up. Clearly, so I've never seen this. I have seen it. Actually, I've seen it in Jurassic Park. Anyone remember the original Jurassic Park? The dinosaur that did that, it flared out, and it was the big guy. I can't remember the character's name. Big guy, curly hair, glasses. He got out in the soaking rain, and unfortunately, I believe he had a bad encounter with this thing right here. I didn't know these were real. Who knew that they were in Australia this whole time? These are crazy. That's got to be a defense mechanism. You got to give me some facts here. Do these bite? Do these sting? Do these spray venom? If they don't do any of those things, I don't care. They're scary as hell. That is super cool and terrifying at the same time. What a crazy animal. And this thing literally matches the outback color scheme. Australia is literally like another planet. I cannot stress that enough. I saw what that thing did to Newman in Jurassic Park. I'll pass. There we go. That's what I'm saying. The way it ran has me crying. Good day to you, sirs, and goodbye. Speed walks with intensity. I want to see how this ends here.
Look
at how it runs.
Hey, bye. Ciao. Passe une bonne.
Why the hell does it run like that? Look at it.
Hey, bye.
Okay. I'm at a loss for words. All right, for this next one, we have some more crazy wildlife that defies logic again. An Australian tarantula hawk wasp dragging off a huntsman spider to lay her egg on its paralyzed body. That is, yeah, the rest, I'll save you the details. You can let your mind run. It's not nice, and it doesn't sound pretty either. Jeez Louise. Take a look at this image. Yeah. Biggest spider remember, for an American here, spider